What is up guys, I'm back again with another video, and today's one what we're going to do is we'll be learning how you can use layers in Krita and what are the tools provided by Krita itself to use these layers more effortlessly. Coming up. So just like always, if you're new to the channel, you can consider subscribing because I make weekly content on digital artwork and Krita itself. And also we are very near to our 1k subscriber milestone, so if you can support me, that will definitely help me a lot. Also, if you're interested in other video series and playlists, I will be providing random annotations as well as link in the description if you want to check that out as well. So yeah, enough with the self-promotion. So let's just jump back to the video. So here we are in Krita 4.3, the latest version which just dropped like 1 or 2 weeks ago. And I'm currently using a 4000 by 4000 pixel canvas, which is a really high resolution canvas for this video. Just in case if you're new to this series, in the previous videos we just learned the basics of Krita and how you can use these basic tools and options to create a basic sort of line art for your artwork, like this one which we have over here with us. I will definitely recommend you to check those previous videos out in the playlist as well, because if you watch those videos, this one will make more sense to you. So starting off with the layer docker in the right hand side of our screen. In your case it might be somewhere else wherever you have placed it, but if it's set it up to default, it should be over there. Over here we have all our layers which we have created from our previous videos so far. First of all, let me just press this eye icon so that all of our layers are visible now. So in here we have all our layers arranged in a perfect order. At the top we have our concept art. Below that we have the layer on which we drew our eyes, and the layer below that we have our basic line art over there. Also, you can just hover your mouse over these layers and it will just show a little preview of your layer, and this is definitely something which will come handy to you, especially if you're not very good at naming your layers and remembering their names. Also, just in case if you decide to make a particular layer to come in the background instead of being in the foreground of your canvas, what you can do is you can simply press click and drag and drop it like this to the bottom so that it will become the background now. Just in case drag and drop doesn't work for you, you can always use these arrow keys over here to move your layer upward and downwards. Also, you can click this icon to edit your layer properties. Currently I don't have anything to edit over here, we have already done that. If you want to create a duplicate of a particular layer, what you have to do is just select it and press this icon and it will do it for you. It will create a copy of it. And in case if you want a new layer added to your scene, what you can do is you can press this plus button and it will give you a clean, transparent, blank layer to work with. Now, in order to explain how the layer styles and the filter masks work, I'll be using this blank layer and I will be dropping some random colored lines over here. You just don't actually have to copy this or follow along. It's just to explain how these filters and masks usually work in Krita. So with this particular layer, what I can do is some experimentation and a lot of cool stuff, unique things. But for that, what I have to do is I have to go over to it, press the right mouse button, go to the top and select the layer style settings. And in here, I have a lot of effects which I can manipulate and add to my layer. For example, we have a drop shadow effect, we have a inward shadow effect, we have a outward glow effect, inward glow effect, and outline effect. Also, you have many options over here which you can manipulate and change settings of. For example, if you want to change the shadow color, if you want to change the shadow angle or the intensity, you can do that as well. But I will personally recommend you not to use this feature if you have a very low-end PC and you're working on a very high resolution canvas, because it might cause you some lags in terms of performance, or it might cause your device to crash. Now, coming to another important feature you should know while working on layers in Krita is masks. To get access to it, press right mouse button and hover to the add and just add a filter. Well, we can see a lot of stuff going over here. We have a transparency mask, we have a colorize mask, we have a transform mask, etc, etc. But that is something for any other day or for a next part. I don't know. But in today's video, what we're going to do is we'll be just discussing the filter mask. So after you select the filter mask, in here you have tons of filters, color manipulation options, but the most important and the ones you will be frequently using throughout the process of creating digital art in Krita are basically adjust, artistic and blur. In adjust, what you can do is you have a lot of options for the adjustment of your colors and tones. Use the HSV adjustment, personally my favorite, in order to adjust your hue, saturation and brightness, pretty generic. And the best part of it is that you can see all the things updating in your image in real time. Just in case you end up messing everything, what you can do is you can simply click this button and it will reset everything to default. In artistic panel, you have a tons of filters like oil paint and pixelize, etc. Filters are pretty simple. I don't actually have to explain them. You can experiment along with it. Similarly, we have a blur. You can add some blur effect to your image. Again, it's pretty generic, no need to explain. And the rest of the options are up to you. You can go and discover how they work, because this is a very small video. I just want to keep it very small. I just don't want to go on and explain each and every single one of these. So yeah, you can just go on, you can just discover all of these features and experiment with them. Coming back to the layer docker option, there is a lock option. If you press it on and now try to draw anything, you won't be able to draw on your canvas. And instead of drawing, it will show a short message over here saying that the layer is locked. If you turn it back off, you will be able to draw on this particular layer again. And then next to it, we have a alpha inheritance. Basically, you will be needing it when you're working on some advanced level photo manipulation. You have a lot of layers grouped within one layer, and it is very complex, to be very fair. I just wanted to keep it simple. This is a beginner friendly tutorial series, so we won't be explaining this in depth. The next one is the alpha lock. Alpha lock is pretty simple. So what this allows us to do is that it will lock the alpha channel of the layer and it won't allow us to draw outside anything which is already existing in this image. Basically, in simple words, it won't allow us to draw anywhere in the transparent area. Personally, I use this whenever I'm coloring my outlines. Personally, when I'm making caricatures and cartoons, I personally don't like this black plain outline, so I tend to color it. But also I have to be very careful that I don't mess with the already existing flat colors, highlights and shadows. So I use this. This is personally a lifesaver. So the last thing which you should know while working with layers in Krita is exporting your layers separately. Let's say you have a scene with different layers in it. For example, you have a layer for your sky, then you have a separate layer for your clouds, then you have a separate layer for your mountains, your vegetation, and then your main character, for example. Or let's say if you have a 2D puppet styled character which you want to use in animation sort of thing. For example, his hands are saved in a separate layer and his head is saved in a separate layer. And let's say you want to save these layers separately in different PNG and JPG files for some sort of animation in some third-party software. What should you do? For doing so, what you have to do is you just have to go to the top section of Krita and just select tools, and then just hover over to the scripts panel and then just go to the export. So now over here you have a bunch of options. The first one is what sort of document you want to save. So over here you have to set which image you want to save, and then you have to locate where you want to save it, and then you have some bunch of random export options. Then you have your desired resolution settings, and then at last you can set whether you want these layers to be separately exported as a PNG or a JPG file. So yeah, this is how you can save each and every single one of these layers as a separate image instead of saving them as a one single PNG or a JPG image. So yeah, this is it for today's video. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, what you can do is you can obviously subscribe, because as I said, we are very near to a 1K subscriber milestone. You can comment down if you have any video ideas, comments or suggestions. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.